So, we're back on the wagon, one more week on Manic Mechanic, so that I can show you the problem that I ran into with the driver's fender. Now, I spent a considerable amount of time trying to get that fender to line up. It did not line up. I did not get anywhere near as far along as I wanted to. I got the doors lined up just like the passenger side, the driver's side, And it's all about the top of the fender aligning to the hood. I have a huge gap on that hood and I can't get that gap to pull in with the fender. And I know why. And after you watch this episode, you will too.
Restoration of a classic Ford is a journey of discovery. Let Autocrafters help you with yours. We offer quality parts for Falcon, Fairlane, F-Series, Galaxy, Maverick, and Pinto. Contact us today.
Hey guys, thanks for motoring in today. Appreciate you being here. What I'd like for you to do is go out and leave a comment in the section below anytime during the video or at the end of the video and let us know what you think about what we did here today. I love the interaction in the comment section. I try to comment back on everything I see on there. So if you would do that. Another thing I'd like for you to do is give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's really important to the algorithms on YouTube as well. And finally, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you go and subscribe, hit that bell for notification. That'll let you know when we put a brand new video up, and we usually do videos twice a week. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move from that into what we have going on today. Now this looks really familiar to some of you guys because you've probably already seen the video we did on lining up doors and fenders on the other side of the car. But it's not the same thing because we have a problem that I ran into that was worthy enough of a video, and that is the fact that this driver's side fender, it just plain won't line up. No matter what I did off camera, this whole side of the car must have been done by a guy that was like brand new because the door, the B-pillar is all wrong. It's not even anywhere near right on the driver's side of the car. But the fender problem is from a previous accident that this car was in probably back in the early 70s. There is damage on the inner fender that I'll show you here in a minute, but what I want to point out right now is that while it looks like everything's lining up just fine on this thing, if you look and you sight down the fender, it starts to go from a straight up and bend out on the fender lip on the inside, making it where you can look in here and actually see the inside of the fender. When you put everything up against the stops all the way over, you just can't get a good alignment out of it. We're wider at the front than we are at the back. And that is a problem for this sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something that no one told me I should do, but I'm going to try it anyway, and that's to use a piece of angle iron to get this fender to lay in correctly. I'm hoping that that will work. I have no idea. I've never done it before. It seems logical, but there's a lot of things in my life that seemed logical that really weren't. All right, so I pulled the fender off, got it here on the fender stand. I'm not going to show you the removal and the installation of the fender because ideally what you want to do is you want to actually have the window chrome off the car and you want to have the bumper off the car to make this alignment situation a lot easier. There are a couple of tips and tricks I'll give you at the end of the video on putting the fender back on the car, but we're going to cover those then and not right now. What I want to talk about right now, though, is what we have going on here. And I want to show you a couple things. There is a crease at the back of this fender that you can see here that is a factory crease. It's supposed to be there. But at the other end of the fender, I've got a problem because I've got where it looks like somebody just wailed on this fender to get it to fit. And the bolt hole is actually pooched out into the inner fender a little bit, so that's going to have to be worked in order to flatten it out and make it sit where it's supposed to sit. But the other thing that blew me away when I pulled the fender off that I had never noticed before was a lot of hammer strikes on the inside edge of this fender. There's a lot there. Somebody got really pissed off when they were working on this thing and they wailed on it. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten out the hammer strikes on this fender using my Chisel hammer and my toe dolly. Now these are available from a lot of different places on the interwebs. I just got, these are so old I don't even know how to tell you where I got them from. I don't remember. But I've had these things for ages, and the nice thing about bodywork hammers is they hold up forever if you take good care of them and you don't misuse them like I occasionally do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this using a hammer-on technique. I'm going to go in behind it where the hammer strike is into the inside of the fender, and I'm going to use my toe dolly on the outside, and I'm just going to lightly tap it and check it to make sure. There are times that I will also use the chisel point to do that, but you run a lot greater risk of pimpling the metal if you use the chisel point. So I'm going to use my flat face to do a lot of this. The only real danger in a hammer-on technique, in my opinion, is the fact that you can actually stretch the metal. But all we're really trying to do is to shrink the metal back into its original position so that the inner fender is flat like it's supposed to be, and we can do the next thing I want to do. Now, this is not a place to go guerrilla when you're working. You're going to want to make nice tap strikes. You're not trying to overtake the world with one hammer strike. You're just trying to tap the metal into position. You'll notice that I'm not beating the snot out of this with my hammer, not doing big drawbacks, just doing nice light strikes along the metal. All right, now what I've got right here is what I'm going to be using to hopefully break over that metal where the actual fender is doing this rather than sitting straight. I've got a couple pieces of 2x2 angle iron here. This one I actually took and put on the inner lip of the fender with no fender bolts in it and drew a line with a Sharpie marker and then cut it down in order to make it to where it will sit on the bottom side of the fender. And this one sits on the top side of the fender in the L, and I'm going to clamp it into the fender with a couple of locking pliers. Now what I will say about this is I don't know if this is going to work. This is just something that I came up with to try to get that to where it lines back in correctly on the fender. This is the best thing I could think of to do it because I don't want to lose this L shape inside the inner fender, and if you're putting pressure on the outside edge of the inner fender out here, you'll see in just a second what's going to happen is it's just going to roll that outside edge. It's not going to fix the problem over in the backside over here. So without further ado, I'm going to pull the stand and everything back in here and hopefully get this thing done. All right, for my next magic trick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take where I've got this set up is the very first point at which the fender starts to roll this way from flat, this being the inside of the inner fender. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to break that back over this way, and I'm going to move all the way down the fender doing that. Okay, so I'm going to say right now that trying to get this thing to line in may be a bit of a problem because I've got some stuff going on here that that's not necessarily good. For one thing, up here at the front, this is kinked right here and dropped, and this is also pushed back a little bit right here. I've said this before and I'll say it again, these cars are 50 some odd years old, most of them. A lot of them have seen damage. It's also got a really hard strike right here, so whatever happened, they used something to pull it out. I think the accident that happened probably back in the early 70s when this car was still being paid for, and so it got fixed by insurance. They used a frame straightener probably to get this car mostly back in line. But even so, with a case like that, you've got radiator core support damage that's not horrible, but it's bad enough. It's got issues. It's got subscriptions maybe. I mean, we're talking about multiple things like you ordered them from a kid that came to the door smelling of cigarettes trying to get you to buy a magazine. This thing has subscriptions on this inner fender. Will I fix this? Probably not. I will go in and fix the look of this. What's going to end up happening is you're going to have a decay effect. You're going to have to fix this, then you got to fix the radiator core support, and pretty soon you're just doing a whole apron assembly on this car. And even if the guys at AMD come out with it, we're still dealing with a wagon. I've had this fender off and on about 6 times in the last 4 or 5 hours, trying to figure out how to make the fender line in without having to go in and do anything dramatic like opening up bolt holes and things like that to get it to line up. Okay, a couple of tips and tricks now. Make sure that your wire for your marker light is on the radiator core support outside, not on the inside, so that you're not having to try to fish that thing all the way through. And make sure that the bolt hole on the fender for the rear mount that's inside the door is actually on the door side of the mount on the body. If you don't do that, you're not going to get anything to work because A, the clip goes on the body, not on the fender, so it's going to cause a problem. Beyond that, make sure that your clips are mobile so that you can move your fender around and get it where you possibly need it to be. The ones that are out here have a lot more mobility to them than the ones up here on the top section of it. And this one especially, you want to make sure that you can get that sucker as far over as you possibly can without causing yourself a problem. All right, now what's going to be a matter of is just going in and putting all the rest of the bolts in, dropping the hood every once in a while to see where we're at. Okay, so I'm going to go in and do the headlight doors next. These two bolts up in here are the ones that are going to be setting the distance, and what I'll want to do is drop the hood down and then put those bolts in and line that fender up on them, and that'll set up where the fender is going to sit for final. And again, I'm not going to be real picky about it because I got a problem here. I got an issue that I got to deal with as far as this inner fender stuff, and that'll be down the road a little bit. But I'll go ahead and get those two in. I have a wonder if these two bolts are actually some that people really miss, and you're probably not going to be able to see the ones, but I'm showing you where they go here because you can't really see them after you get the fender on. My hood. Let's see if I can set. So I'm setting these first to see if I can get this thing to line in better than what it was before. All right, I'm bellying up to the bar. This is going to be my last adjustment on this thing for now. I've done all I can do with the body damage that this car has. I've got a problem anyway. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying that this upper rail here is an issue, and I don't know whether it's pushed in or pushed out, and I think probably in some of their messing around they pushed it out. The only other thing that you can do in a case like this would be to go in and actually open up the bolt holes on the inner fender and open them up to the inside a little bit to be able to push the fender in, but that's going to reset this line. On a Fairlane, this should be the same width all the way down the fender line. It's not. It is pretty much on the passenger side, but not on the driver's side on this car. So I don't really know what I can do with that to make that better. Now that could just be a problem with this car too. You know, this is, from what I can tell on a lot of this thing, it was a Monday or a Friday car because it's just so many issues. There's a lot going on that's wrong on the driver's side. I don't know what it is about these old cars, but a lot of times I find that one side will be okay and the other side won't, or the whole car won't be okay. I'm going to drop the hood and see what I've got. And that's probably about as good as I'm going to get. Unless I go in and I start mucking around with, like I said, the bolt holes on here, my outside alignment is not going to be much better than this. I do need to move the hood forward a little bit, and I'll screw around with the cowl. You can play with the cowl after you got everything set to make sure you've got a good alignment between the hood and the cowl, but make sure you try to get the hood as centered as you possibly can and then work from there. So that's what I did to fix the fender problem on this side. Like I said, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. There's a little bit more gap down here than there is back here, but there's also some fender damage on the front of this fender right here, I think, that's causing me some other grief, as well as damage to the hood. There has been body work all out across here prior to me getting the car. Were I a cheeky monkey, I'd probably go in if the fenders and the hood were available and buy a reproduction hood and a reproduction fender to put on here and see if that would be any better. It probably would. and then we would go from there. Check out our Patreon account. At the $10 a month level, you get monthly meetings with me on Zoom, and we sit down and talk about tech stuff. We talk about upcoming shows. We do a lot of cool things. Finally, and all, please do me a favor and love on each other, be nice to each other, have a great week, and we'll see you on down the road. You know, I probably will go and play with this more off camera because I've shown you everything I need to show you, but for a guy like me, that's going to bug me no end as I go down the road.